Report to all cousins. Yesterday, Ukraine's prodigal Zelensky made Biden angry to death. This guy recently sold American weapons as second-hand goods. It was stabbed all over the world. It is said that someone found various weapons, aided by the United States, on the black market. Anti-tank missiles, tanks, armored vehicles, and a full set of American equipment have become street stalls. That's not all. There was news last night. The Ukrainian Ministry of Defense actually sells parts of the HIMARS rocket launcher as keychains. Madden's face was probably tired at that time. Spent a lot of money to support. It turns out the weapons are not for fighting. Instead, it was used directly to generate income. This is a spread, especially in the United States. That was a big deal. Americans from all walks of life pointed their fingers at Zelensky and called him a prodigal. I've never seen someone so defeated. Faced with overwhelming criticism, the Ukrainian Ministry of Defense also hurriedly came forward to explain the misunderstanding. It's all misunderstanding. So where are the HIMARS parts? Just a keychain made from a fired bazooka shell. They also said this is waste recycling. What waste utilization? Americans don't believe this at all. I'm sure they are just turning high-precision weapon parts into souvenirs to make a profit. The keychain controversy hasn't subsided yet. Even the driver is not idle. Here he is, traveling around Europe, pulling the leaders of various countries to cry and complain that the current situation is tense. Kiev, Kharkiv, Kursk, and other places were in a complete mess. The war situation behind us is urgent. Lack of support on the front line. Then his style changed. Here's a friendly reminder that Biden already gave us $6 billion. But it's not enough. European Big Brother, you can support another 300 billion times. And can I still pay with frozen Russian assets? Meaning, $300 billion in Russian assets frozen. Why not just give it to Ukraine? Anyway, everyone wants Ukraine and Russia to. If the leverage goes down, then allocate one-time funds in place. But Zelensky's calculations worked out well. As soon as this request came out, almost no one in Europe paid any attention to him. Americans just shook their heads. Several major European countries publicly rejected it, one after another. EU President, French President Macron, and German Chancellor Scholz all attended the appointment. This $300 billion is allocated to you, Ukraine. Isn't it just a slap in Russia's face? We don't want to cause more trouble. In fact, Europe understands better than anyone else at this time. Give Zelensky $300 billion. It is equivalent to directly declaring war on Russia. If you really do this, that's a complete hole-filling battle. Involve Europe. Can't eat and walk around. Got into trouble in Europe. Zelensky had to speak on his own. Last night, he called out Biden in a speech in Europe as he approaches his final 2 months in office. Europe cannot abandon Ukraine and ignore it. No compromise with Russia at the critical moment. We need more support. He hopes everyone will support him again. Otherwise, there will be no leverage in future negotiations. But the reality is cruel. Zelensky received constant cold treatment at the venue. European countries are obviously no longer as welcoming as they used to be. Instead, everyone kept a distance from him. After all, Trump is already far ahead in the US election. He is basically the next president. European countries are now starting to change their faces, while trying to please future President Trump, while trying to draw a clear line with the Biden administration. French President Macron made it clear that we and the United States, especially Trump, we have always been good friends and brothers. German Chancellor Scholz added, directly courting Trump, afraid that others won't understand. Germany has already started a team. These two men told the Zelensky brothers through actions. Although we supported you, but now I have to find a way out for myself. In general, Zelensky's trip, the road to begging in Europe is really not smooth. All countries are budgeting carefully, afraid of being dragged into the water. Become the victim. After all, being Ukraine costs money. But Zelensky's appetite is not small. He's talking about $300 billion. Who dares to pay this easily? Not to mention after Biden steps down, it's not clear how the situation will develop. European countries are better at calculating each one than anyone else. Just wait for Trump to re-examine the relationship with Ukraine after he takes office, so as not to become a thorn in Trump's side in the future. Nowadays, life for Zelensky, the prodigal son, getting increasingly difficult, while he was struggling to support himself on the front line. While being rejected in Europe, even the United States may not continue to be willing to spend money from a bottomless pit. The future situation may not develop in the direction he wants, but he lacks both chips and support. Okay, I'm going to bed first. Wake up and watch again.